Hey, it's Erin. Protein waffles might be the perfect post-workout meal. You've got fast digesting carbs, fast digesting protein. The recipe itself is highly customizable and the waffles are portable. Make them ahead of time, toss them in a Tupperware, put them in your gym bag, and you're good to go. As far as the ingredients and tools you'll need, I have everything laid out here and I'll list it in the description below. We're gonna start with some white rice flour. If you don't have this, it's okay. You can actually make your own using dry white rice. Just toss it in a blender or a food processor and blend it up until it resembles flour. I've got some liquid stevia right here. Add a little bit of sweetness, some Ceylon cinnamon, which is good for a little kick, and it helps regulate blood sugar levels. We need a leavening agent, so we've got some baking powder, some old school measuring spoons here, a 1/2 cup measuring cup. Got this really nice glass measuring cup too. It has a spout on it, which really comes in handy as you're pouring the batter into the waffle maker. So I've got the Dash waffle maker. It's about $10 on Amazon. Non-stick surface, really forgiving, super awesome. For proteins, got some liquid egg whites here. Liquid egg whites are going to provide a little bit of protein, of course, but it's also going to act as a binder, which is going to help hold these waffles together. And lastly, I've got some Cellucor Core Performance Whey Protein. This is a blend of isolate and concentrate, so you've got super fast digesting protein and a little bit slower digesting protein, still on the fast side, but the whey protein concentrate has a little bit more thickness than the isolate. So if you want a batter that's nice and thick, you might opt for a blend. If you're using just straight isolate, that's okay too, but you might have to start with a little bit less water as it tends to get a little bit more soupy. And of course, have the water right here. And we're gonna start with that. We're gonna pour 1/2 cup into our glass measuring cup. And this recipe is super forgiving, so if you go over just a little bit, it's fine. If you go under just a little bit, that's fine too. So we've got that. And our white rice flour is great because it's fast digesting. So it's gonna help replenish those energy stores, replenish glycogen stores. And we're gonna go for 1/2 cup. And again, you wanna be pretty precise with it. So you wanna get a level 1/2 cup. So what I do typically is I'll pour it into the measuring cup, give it kind of a little shake to let it settle in, and then toss it right in. Then we're gonna go to our leavening agent, which is our baking powder. I'm gonna use a 1/2 teaspoon here. Now it's important when you're using the measuring spoons and you're measuring leavening, there's a little leveler on the inside, so you wanna make use of that. So we're gonna toss that right in. Now the stevia, the amount is going to vary. It really depends on how sweet you like your waffles. I like them pretty sweet, so I'm gonna go with two little spoonful or 2 scooperfuls. Ceylon cinnamon. This is part of the customizable portion of the recipe. If you don't like cinnamon, if you don't want any seasoning whatsoever, that's fine. If you want to use unsweetened whey, that's okay too. You can make savory waffles. So I'm gonna do about a 1/2 teaspoon. After you've added the cinnamon, you're gonna go ahead and add some liquid egg whites. I do 1 serving, which is 3 tablespoons. It's about 5 grams of protein, or 6 grams of protein. And again, this is gonna help bind our waffles together. And you're just putting everything into that same bowl or the same measuring cup, super easy. Now for this protein, it's 2 level scoops is 24 grams of protein. So we've got 30 grams of protein here. And of course, protein is gonna help with muscle protein synthesis, which is going to help with gains. So we're looking at about 30 grams of protein. And I'll list the macros in the description below. So if you do want to make customizations to it, you can change up the ingredients and you can give yourself more protein, less carbs, or vice versa. We're gonna take a spoon, mix it all together. So you want to make sure that all of the ingredients are nice and incorporated. That's why I like to put the water in first. If you put the protein powder in first, or if you put the rice flour in first, what can happen is the dry ingredients can kind of get stuck at the bottom, and you'll end up with a soupy batter on top and then a really chunky batter on the bottom, which doesn't lend itself particularly well to waffles. And I've got the Dash Waffle Maker plugged in. It's nice and hot, and we're gonna go ahead and open that lid. And when I pour, I just pour a little bit at a time, and then you wanna make sure that the batter just lines up to the edges. So of course you don't want to over pour, because then you're gonna have batter leaking out the sides and you don't want an extra mess. For the waffles themselves, they typically will take about 45 seconds to cook. So if you like them a little bit on the underdone side, then you can probably get away with 30 seconds. But yeah, you can cheat it just a little bit and lift the lid or try to pull up on the lid. And if it sticks, it's not done. So we patiently await the first waffle. Now this recipe is going to yield you about 4 to 5 waffles, and it really depends on how full you fill up the waffle maker. So if you overfill it, you've got some really thick waffles, you might get 3.5. Of course, while talking, I lose track of time. Just gonna lift it, peek. Looks pretty good. I have oven hands, so this is pretty hot. I would recommend using a fork, but that's what the waffle looks like. Pretty delicious. I've got a little plate here, and then you just keep going with it. Super easy. And as far as the customizable parts go, you can swap out, you can use oat flour, you can use quinoa flour, you can use oats too. Now, if you use just oats by themselves, I would recommend maybe doing the batter the night before, letting it sit in the fridge and letting the oats soften just a little bit, but you can absolutely do that. You can absolutely use just egg whites if you want, if you don't want to use protein powder. But I do recommend having a little bit of a binder here, using the leavening agent, and yeah, experimenting with it. This recipe is highly customizable, but I would recommend using the egg whites just to help bind it, and I would recommend using the baking powder or baking soda just to help make them a little bit fluffier. If there's another recipe that you'd like to see, please let me know. As you can see, we've got the home renovation done, so the kitchen is wide open. It's perfect for filming now, so happy to do more food videos. Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that little bell. You'll be the first to know whenever a new video comes out. Until next time, thanks for watching, train hard, and eat smart, y'all.